All right. So, finally, I think that I figured out how to screen record my computer screen and use my microphone to talk. So I can do these tutorials. So, let's give it a go. This is going to be very basic because my this is what I do with editing. I don't do a lot. Basically, I work from top to bottom. So once you got your photo in Lightroom pulled up that you want to use, the first thing that I do is I hit this square rectangle here. It's called a gradient filter. I bring that on over. So you click that, and then you pull it up. And as you can see here, it makes a big difference. So once you have this box right here, this little sub box will pull up, and then we can start manipulating the colors and whatnot. So the first thing I like to do is when I look at the photo, I like to see the colors that's in the photo, see which ones I want to keep around. This one has some nice blues and purples in it. If you see, if we reset it, these blues here, a little bit of purple, that orange. I want to try to keep that, and I want to try to actually bring those colors out. Also, I noticed this area right here is blown out, so we want to try to manipulate that and get that under control. And then, of course, the whole part about this picture is the reflection. So I want to try to attenuate and make the reflections look nice. So yeah, so we'll pull the gradient filter out. So we'll just click on that, pull it up, and then when you move it up and down, you can see it makes a difference. Right here, you can tell it really brings out the reflection colors. So first thing I like to do is so this blown out portion right here, I want to use that as kind of like a guide. I want to make sure that anything that I change, it doesn't make this too crazy. I want to try to get that under control and not have it so bright and blown out like that. So let's get to work. So we got the gradient filter up. I like it at this area right here. Actually, I like it like that. Yeah. Okay. Really brings out the reflection here. So, and I mean, honestly, what I do is I'll just like go by each step and see what happens when I make changes. Um, yeah, I really like that. So we got the exposure. Exposure, the higher you go, the brighter it goes. The lower you go, the lower it goes. Want to get it low. I kind of want to have this house as a silhouette. And also, I want to try to, like I said, lowering the exposure will help with this problem area right here that we want to focus on. Let's see. And highlights and whites will do the same thing. So let's see, shadows. We'll darken everything up. Don't want to go too dark. I mean, I don't want it to be like that. I want to show the details of that house right there. And I want it to come out on this reflection. Whites, like I said, that's gonna bring out the colors a little bit, but like I said, keep an eye on that, making sure it doesn't get too crazy over there. All right, that looks good. Blacks, it's going to be like the shadows as well. So don't, with how dark this photo is, I don't really want to mess with that too much. And yeah, a lot of times I'll take the gradient filter and move it up and just still see what it does. Yeah, I like it like that. Clarity and saturation with the gradient filter I don't mess with, but dehaze I do. If you crank this up a little bit, I mean, as you can see, it makes a big difference. So I like that. I like that a lot. Let's see, we got some blues in here. I wonder, I kind of want to warm it up just a little bit. Let's see. And that's, I mean, this is like this part right here is just a preference. Um, but I kind of like that warmness to it. But I don't want to lose all the blue. Actually, yeah, right, right there. I like that. Let's see. Okay, so we'll hit close right here, and it's going to close out that little sub box. And now we're back to where when we make changes, it's going to make changes to the entire photo. So we'll start, like I said, from the top and work your way down to the bottom. See, I want to keep some of the blues in here, and the reason why is because I have a exact photo of this that's really red and pink. So I want to mess with this and try to keep as much as the blue in here as possible. Okay, and exposure. Yeah, drop that down. Contrast. About like that. You know, sometimes also I'll take another gradient filter and move it on over. So we'll click this. If it will pull up, let's see. And then I'll flip it so we can really focus on the foreground. And yeah, that's, you know what, that's what we're gonna do. Let's see. So I wanna warm this up. Yeah, look at that. I mean, because the whole point of this photo is the reflection shot. The sunset's pretty, but I really want to insinuate the water and the reflection. So I want to make that dramatic. So yeah, I'm really liking how this is turning out. Let's see, shadows. And just, it's as easy as working your way from the top to the bottom. Very, as you can see here, I'm making very slow movements with the cursor. Not going crazy. Again, not touching the clarity or the saturation, but maybe the dehaze. See what that does. I kind of like it without it. Well, we got 36 on it. Yeah. All right, we'll close that out. Okay, I'm really liking this now. All right, so we'll go back. So the next section is the highlights right here. So we'll want to drop that down because, again, we're keeping an eye on this. We don't want that to get too crazy, especially if you're making prints. You know, you want to, if you're focusing on like printing stuff, you know, these blown out areas right here are problem areas. They don't look good on print, so you want to use that as a guide. I mean, because you see here the whites, if you pull up the whites, you know, that area goes crazy. So we'll drop the whites down just a little bit. That looks good. See the shadows. I want to keep the details of the house, so don't want to go too far. Let's say blacks. Drop it down just a hair. Again, I don't mess with the clarity. Clarity I use a lot for like real estate photography, but for landscape, I don't touch it. Vibrance, I might kick the vibrance up just a hair sometimes, but I don't usually like to, because if you start going crazy with the vibrance, I mean, that it looks unnatural. And again, when I'm printing these photos out, it doesn't look good on print. So you might see a vibrance be kicked up to 15, like plus 15. That's about as far as I go on it, though. Yeah, that looks good at plus 12. Then we'll start working with the highlights here. The highlights on this, when I start messing around with this, is really going to be like the bright area. So let's see, kick that. The light, same way. Darks. Don't want to make it too dark. And that looks good. Yeah, the key is, I don't know if this is how professionals do it. I mean, I don't really call myself a professional, but, just going one by one, slow movements. And then once we get down here, this is my favorite part, is where we can actually manipulate the colors. So you can click on red, you can change the hue of it, and it changes. So want to add a little bit of purple in there, maybe crank up the saturation. Yeah, I like that. Then we'll go to orange, do the same thing, but I want to keep some orange in there. I want to have different colors in here. I don't want all of it to be like pink. So, and I mean, that's just a preference, but I think it just looks better like that. Let's see, we'll go to blue. There's not much blue. When you change it, you can see it. This corner here changes. So we won't really mess with that. This should be a change. Yeah, I kind of like that. Just changing. Yeah, I like that a lot. Just kind of giving it a little bit of a divide. And then the last part is this noise reduction. Sometimes I'll mess with it. I'll see what it looks like. I'll crank it all the way up. Yeah, I like that. It makes it look like a painting. I really like that. And that's it. We're done. Um, Hit save, and yeah, we'll export it. And yeah, that's all that it is. I hope this helped out a little bit. But yeah, just a recap. Go slow. Start from the top to the bottom. This gradient filter will be your best friend. That's going to help you. Um, Whenever you take a photo, the sky is always going to be more blown out than the foreground. This right here is the foreground. This right here is the sky. So you want to pop on that gradient filter, adjust the settings to make it more natural and not where like the sky is way overexposed in the foreground. You can't see anything. But that will do it. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope I helped out.